What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Color Cup running what I think is one of the best Corebreakers for this meta, Toxtricity. The reason being, it can beat Toxapex as well as most of the grass types, which are often paired together on the same team. It is however incredibly weak to ground, so I'm pairing it with Shadow Cacturn in the lead and Heliolisk with Grassknot as the safe swap to potentially bait out any mud boys and hopefully allow Toxtricity to sweep in the end game. Now this is an incredibly glassy team though, so if you do want to give Toxtricity a try, I'd maybe recommend some slightly bulkier Pokemon to pair it with, but this team was incredibly fun to play, and I also picked up 3 5-0s, so it was fairly successful for me as well. But with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What do you think is the best Corebreaker for the Color Cup? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle, leading Shadow Cacturn into Charge Bug. So of course, X is going to hit for double super effective damage. We're going to have to shield. However, I can afford to stay in this matchup since I'm dealing very hard-hitting neutral Sucker Punches whilst resisting the Volt Switch damage. We're going to go for 3 more Sucker Punches, fire off a Trailblaze. From this range, it should get the KO. So we grab the shield from the opponent. We then swap into Heliolisk, get a full Volt Switch in for free as we swap there, catching the Xer, and the opponent comes in with the barrel. So clearly not a great response. So at this point, I'm thinking, if I can grab the final shield with a Grassknot, then Toxtricity might be primed to sweep in this game here. So definitely going to let the move go through. The opponent fires off the Surf there. Absolutely fine with me. We're going to come in with the Toxtricity, and I've actually put them into range where I can shield once. It doesn't matter what they throw. They're only making 1 charge move, and then go for a huge Poison Jab farm down, taken out by barrel. They come back in with the Charger Bug just to be fully farmed down by the Poison Jabs. And now we've got back-to-back wild charges, and it's a Toxapex in the back. First one does huge super effective damage. The second one will easily be enough damage to get the KO. However, at this point, the opponent has clearly just completely exited out of the app. Wild Charge finally connects. It takes out the Toxapex, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's up in there into the next battle. We see Jumpluff in the lead, so not great for us, but we swap at the same time as the opponent, so I'm not really sure why the opponent swapped out straight away. Maybe predicting I'd swap out immediately. However, it doesn't really make an awful lot of sense, but they're going to bait with an Icy Wind. Honestly, I kind of need to shield anyways. Heliolisk is fairly glassy, but since we also bait with a Breaking Swat, I'm now able to outpace them to the Grassknot, and Grassknot, despite being debuffed, does still get the KO there. So we flip switch advantage, which is huge for me because Toxtricity is an absolute wall to Jumpluff, resisting everything they can throw. The opponent is going to, of course, fire off the charge move here. Honestly, from this range, Aerial Ace is probably going to get the KO, and it does take us out, but it doesn't really matter. We can come in with the Toxtricity, gonna no-shield this. The opponent fires off another Aerial Ace, not doing much damage, and they swap into more Peko. So this is absolutely fine with me. We fire off the Power Up Punch. Power Up Punch is going to boost up the Poison Jab damage. The opponent will fire off a charge move here, and the opponent is actually running Seed Bomb, which honestly doesn't make sense to throw there at all. We are, of course, a poison type Pokemon, so whilst we do resist the Aura Wheel, we also resist Seed Bomb, but it doesn't matter. Second Power Up Punch gets the KO, and again, Aerial Ace will not be enough damage to get the KO here, so I'm able to Poison Jab, farm them down, and take that game. So GG's up in there. Normally I would just cut that out and try recording again, but honestly, I don't know what's going on with me. I just cannot talk to save my life. This is like the 15th time I've attempted to record the first couple of battles, and at this point, I'm giving up. We're just leaving whatever blunders I make in because I just can't be bothered anymore. We go for a Trailblaze there. Trailblaze is going to be shielded by the opponent, and this should be a very comfortable matchup for us. However, they do significantly outpace us, so here I will have to match shields if I want to win this in the 2-shield scenario. So we go for a Trailblaze. Trailblaze is going to be shielded, and at this point I'm thinking, you know what, actually we've put them into range where I will still have to shield, but we can come in and get a Poison Jab farm down with the Toxtricity, and surely they don't have multiple ground type Pokemon in the back, so we should be looking okay here. They actually come in with a Shadow Abomasnow. I'm going to over farm here. We actually throw on the potential CMP tie with an Icy Wind. Wild Charge gets the one shot. They come in with a Toxapex, and again we can go straight for the Wild Charge, but once this lands, I'm not going to stay in here. Whilst we do resist the Poison Jab damage, we can just come in with the Heliolisk. They're only going to reach a Brine, which is absolutely fine. Accidental rhyme there. That nearly rhymed as well, but we're going to go for the full farm down, and I could throw a charge move, but the opponent clearly given up. We can go for the Volt Switch farm down, taking out the Unova Stunfisk, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG Turbo there, into the next battle, we see Salazzle in the lead. So we go for one Sucker Punch, then we swap out. The opponent comes in with a Shadow Poliwrath. And honestly, this team is incredibly weak to Fighting-type Pokemon, especially in the lead. I just didn't really expect to see many of them, and I think I only saw maybe one or two. But either way, not a good position to be in. We're going to come in with the Toxtricity here. Going to no-shield the first move, and they just go straight for a Power-Up Punch, which I thought, okay, that's fine with me. We do resist it. However, these counters are now seriously chunking. I'm going to have to shield the next Power-Up Punch, and if I go for a full farm down here, that's probably a mistake because unfortunately the opponent can just come in with Salazzle, go for one Incinerate and take us out. So I didn't want to throw there, but I kind of mess up. But we're going to come in with the Shadow Cactus. We actually get the Sucker Punch farm down somehow, but we don't reach a charge move up against the Abomasnow. If I made it to a Trailblaze, I'd actually probably win this game here. And still, we can go for a boosted Wild Charge here. Boosted, sorry, not boasted. Boosted, and it doesn't quite get the KO there. But unfortunately, we do go down to the Powder Snow and we lose that game. But GG up over there into next battle, we see Golisopod in the lead. So once again, similar to the Charge Bug, of course, X's are easily going to one-shot us. However, we are resisting the Shadow Claw damage. And again, these Sucker Punches are absolutely chunking. However, we've got a much better matchup with our Heliolisk. So we're going to swap slightly sooner there, just because we can get a full Volt Switch in as we swap out there. They fire off the X's, and that does huge damage, to be honest. But since we're slightly ahead on energy, getting that Volt Switch through, I can now go for a Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe is going to debuff their attack. It still shouldn't really matter too much, as a Weather Ball will be taking out the Heliolisk, but we can come in with the Toxtricity here. They're only going to reach another Weather Ball, which is now debuffed, so I don't have to use a shield here. I probably wouldn't shield anyways. But Weather Ball not doing too much damage. We get the Poison Jab farm down, and the opponent's going to have a Dugong in the back. So things are looking good. We're just going to make sure the opponent does not make a catch, and they're unable to do so. So we can fire off the first Wild Charge. Probably going to be shielded by the opponent, but we can go and fire off a second Wild Charge straight away. And Wild Charge from this range easily gets the KO up against the Dugong, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG swap in there into the next battle. We see Toxapex in the lead this time around. So, going to say swap into Heliolisk, and the opponent swaps out straight away into Cradily. So, again, another instant swap there. I assume the opponent's just predicting I'm going to swap out straight away. Otherwise, that is kind of a strange thing to do. But either way, we're going to fire off a second Breaking Swipe here. Breaking Swipe number 2 is going to debuff their attack again. So, I should actually be able to very comfortably live anything here. Even if they are running Bulldoze, which I did actually run into a single Cradily running Bulldoze, although Bulldoze is still not a very good move, so I wouldn't recommend it. But we're going to go for the next Breaking Swipe here. Breaking Swipe is going to be shielded by the opponent, and they overfarm, allowing me to make it to yet another Breaking Swipe here. And I can either flip switch advantage or grab both shields. I'm happy with either. Honestly, probably better for me to get the all shields down, essentially, because now Toxtricity is in a very good position here to sweep in the end game, as they've got Abomasnow as the final Pokemon. So at this point, we are going to shield up the Charge Reef here. Honestly, Brian would not get the KO from this range, however, it would get us fairly low. I'm now going to fire off the Wild Charge. I'm at back-to-back Wild Charges. First one easily takes out the Toxapex. They come back in with the Abomasnow. This is resisted damage. However, it just doesn't matter. It does huge damage there. It's going to force the opponent to throw their energy. So at this point, it's going to be game over. Weather Ball gets the KO, but 2 more Sucker Punches from the Shadow Cacturn take out the Abomasnow, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG swap in there into the next battle. We see Talonflame in the lead. So, obviously not ideal for us. Again, going for one Sucker Punch, then swapping out, and the opponent comes in with a Swampert, and we're going straight for Grass Knot here. They did stay in with that Talonflame for quite a while, and Grass Knot gets the one shot. They then come in with a Abomasnow. However, this is a little bit awkward for us. Talonflame has some decent residual energy. We go for a Breaking Swipe there. We do at least debuff their attack, and it allows us to reach another Breaking Swipe. However, they're going to come out with a ton of loaded energy, and Shadow Cacturn is absolutely dead weight in this battle right now. So we're going to just go and fully sacrifice it. Weather Ball doesn't actually take us out there. They swap into Talonflame. So we're going to come in with the Toxtricity, but they're already out of Charge Reef. They go for a Flame Charge there, which is definitely not ideal, as these Incinerates are absolutely chunking. But we can fire off a Power Punch. Power Punch is going to be shielded by the opponent. However, it's going to boost our attack, and now we're only going to get 2 Poison Jabs to take out the Talonflame. We don't leave with a Power Up Punch loaded, and that's going to be costly, because unfortunately, Weather Ball Fireball will be taking us out. If we landed a Power Up Punch here, the Sucker Punches would have at least got them into range where maybe we could get a simultaneous KO, or potentially even take them out before the Powder Snows take us out, but unfortunately we do end up losing that game. But GG's to opponent there into next battle. We see Gastrodon in the lead, and even though this should be a very comfortable matchup for us, it's actually not that comfortable for us, because Body Slam, despite being nerfed of course last season, still does quite a lot of damage to a Shadow Cacturn, and even these resistant Mud Slaps are chunking. But we can shield once, or sorry, double shield, go for a full farm down. They then come in with a Charger Bug, but this is absolutely okay. They're going to have to throw a charge move to get the KO, because if they commit to a full farm down here, we're going to reach another Trailblaze, and we are quad boosted at this point. Trailblaze gets the KO there. 2 Sucker Punches land up against the Shadow Zapdos and deal that much damage. It's insane. And now we can come in with the Toxtricity, completely wall this thing here. They go for a Drill Peck. I mean, it still does big damage, but we can commit to a full Poison Jab farm down, so the opponent just concedes the match. So, GG's to opponent there into next battle. We see Ferrothorn in the lead. So, this is a pretty good matchup for us. Of course, we are running Dynamic Punch. The opponent safe swaps into Toxapex. And I'm a little bit slow to swap out there, but we do come in with the Toxtricity. I'm going to no-shield the first charge move here. You're going to see Brine, a pretty rubbish move, actually puts us into range where potentially in the 2-shield scenario, we might end up losing this. So, honestly, not ideal. But we go for a Power Punch bait, and the opponent calls it, which is really bad. Surely they're going to shield right now. We full send the Wild Charge, but no, the opponent no-shields that one, so I'm still able to maintain alignment and not use a shield, which is very nice. We can now go for a Power Punch. Power Punch actually grabs a shield, so we swap back into Shadow Cacturn. Could have gone for Dynamic Punch here, but I'm guessing the opponent is going to double shield because they do have a lot of energy on the Ferrothorn, and they do end up double shielding. They then come in with a Quillfish. We've still got 2 shields in play, so things should be looking fine, but I'm actually not going to shield the first charge move here. I realize a Power Whip will do more damage than an Aqua Tail, so we're going to overfarm, throw on the CMP tie. A little bit risky because Quillfish is fairly attack weighted, but Heliolisk wins CMP there, and all we've got to do now is farm up to back-to-back breaking swipes here. Even if they go for mirror shots and debuff my attack, we should be fine. A single breaking swipe will pretty much KO from this range, but a second one will just guarantee the job here. We fire it off straight away, and breaking swipe number 2 from this range will be taking out the Ferrothorn, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top there into next battle, another Toxapex in the lead. So, going to say swap into Heliolisk, and the opponent comes in with a Gastrodon. So, honestly, not amazing for us, but we can go for the Grass Knot, and unfortunately, it is shielded this time around. So, that is honestly not great for us at all, because we can come in with our Shadow Cacturn, but we've already seen it doesn't actually have that dominant a matchup. I'm going to have to let the first move go through here, as the opponent is going to go for the Body Slam. That does about 50% of our HP. Really not ideal for us. Honestly, at this point, I'm thinking if they shield a Trailblaze, they can probably Mud Slap farm me down, or potentially fire off another Body Slam, take us out there, and we'd be absolutely screwed. But we are going to get the KO there. We're then going to swap straight away into our Toxtricity, and they've got a bonus note in the back, so things are still looking okay for us. However, Toxtricity is incredibly glassy. Toxapex does have quite a lot of energy, so I'm going to shield up the charge move. The opponent's going to go for an Icy Wind, debuffing my attack, which will actually give me slightly more energy here. However, it doesn't really matter. I didn't throw straight away. I was hoping I'd live a Brine from this range. However, that's not the case. Brine gets the KO. 2 more Poison Jabs, takes out the Cacturn, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG's top on there into next battle. We see Morpeko in the lead, so despite the fact that we do resist anything they could throw at this point, I'm still going to shield anyways, because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if an Aura Weird, despite being resisted, completely one-shots the Shadow Cacturn. The opponent then safe swaps into Talonflame, and this one I'm thinking, you know what, I've already used one shield. Since we did force a CMP tie, I'm just going to let this go through. Fly actually doesn't quite take us out there. We do get off one more Volt Switch before they farm me down. And at this point, we're going to come in with the Toxtricity, and I will be shielding the charge move, as they could go for a Brave Bird, and despite it being resisted, honestly, Brave Bird would very nearly one-shot us, so we shield up the Fly there. They come in with a Shadow for Alligator. I can go for a Wild Charge, and then I can swap out. If I get a 0-turn swap here, which I do, I can go for one extra Sucker Punch, fire off the Trailblaze on the CMP tie. Trailblaze easily gets the one-shot there. If they come back in with the Talonflame, honestly, I don't think any single Incinerate will register, as 2 boosted Sucker Punches gets the KO. They come back in with the Morpeko, and we're able to reach a Trailblaze, and of course Trailblaze will be enough to very easily, eventually, when it does connect, take out the Morpeko, and I'm able to take that game. Honestly, I don't understand why people leave the battle, like, there. Like, what's the point? Like, it just makes no sense to me. But anyways, GG, start opponent there into the next battle. We see a Shadow Blaziken in the lead. Honestly, a huge core breaker for the team. We're going to swap into Toxtricity. I don't really know why I did that, because of course now that's our only real Pokemon that can do well into Blaziken. But unfortunately, if I swapped into Heliolisk, whilst yes, I would actually outpace them to a Blaze Kick, since counter does generate energy slightly slower these days, it still just wouldn't help me. Maybe I get a debuff with a Breaking Swipe, but they fully farm me down. At that point, it's probably just game over. But either way, we go for a Wild Charge there. We do flip switch advantage. They're going to come in with the Ferrothorn, and then I make a huge mistake here. I should have swapped into my Heliolisk, but my thinking was, if I swap out of that matchup, basically what I wanted to do was bait out the Blaziken again. But if I swapped into Heliolisk, they probably just stay in with the Ferrothorn, knowing Blaziken has a great matchup up against our Shadow character. And so either way, I don't think I could have won this game here, but they are going to fire off the Blaze Kick. We do get the Volt Switch farm down, but it doesn't really matter. Anything I throw would not get the KO. They still had a shield in play. They go for a Power Whip. It takes out the Heliolisk, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG, so opponent there into next battle. We see more Peko in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into a Shadow Jumpluff. We're going to respond with the Toxtricity, and even if they're running Acrobatics from a Shadow Jumpluff, it does pretty big damage, to be fair. However, it will not be enough damage to get the KO. I'm going to go for the Wild Charge, just guarantee the KO here. Wild Charge does get the KO. It also gives them minimal farm, but it will still allow me to make another Wild Charge up against the Morpeko coming back in, which still does huge damage despite being resisted. We can come in with either Pokemon here. We're going to come in with the Shadow Cacturn. They actually come in with a Shadow Alola Marowak. So we stay in initially, get off huge damage with the Sucker Punches, swap out eventually here. As the opponent fires off a Bone Club, they can reach back-to-back charge moves, but I realize my win condition is not throwing a charge move whatsoever. Instead, committing to a full fast move beatdown. The opponent will throw a charge move here, but it just doesn't matter. It's too late. A boosted Thunder Shock, not going to be enough damage to take out our Shadow Cacturn, but Sucker Punches, despite being resisted, do enough damage there to get the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So GG so far there into next battle, another Charge Bug in the lead. So once again, going to stay in this matchup initially, play out the one shield scenario before eventually swapping into my Heliolisk there to catch a charge move. However, the opponent's actually going to swap out instead into Serperior. We fire off a Dynamic Punch there, as I realized my charge moves were resisted by the Charge Bug there, so I didn't really need to save the energy. Instead, we put them into range where we can tank a Frenzy Plant, go for a Poison Jab, farm down. They can't really come back in with a Charge Bug, as of course everything is resisted, but they come in with a Greninja, and this game looks to be absolutely over right now. We go for a Power Punch there. We go for a second Power Up Punch here, and this should be grabbing the final shield because it will do a lot of damage at this point, and we're actually able to make it to another Power Up Punch there, so the opponent does decide to catch it onto Charge Bug, but that's okay with me. We've still got a shield in play here. All we have to do is farm up to a Breaking Swipe, swap into my Shadow Cacturn there, preserve the energy on my Heliolisk, go for the farm down, and it doesn't matter at this point. Greninja can throw an Aerial Ace if they've got it. They probably don't, but either way, Night Slash does not get the KO. I'm just going to force them to throw another charge move here. Night Slash number 2 does take us out there, but we've got the Breaking Swipe already loaded. Breaking Swipe will be enough to take out Greninja, and I'm able to take that game. So GG stop there into next battle. We see Alola Marowak in the lead, so we are going to stay in this matchup initially because whilst these Fire Spins are absolutely chunking, so are the Sucker Punches. We can just barely reach a Trailblaze. Trailblaze is going to be shielded. We got one boosted Sucker Punch there. You can see I tried to swap out, but that was never going to be able to happen. We're now going to come in with our Heliolisk, and they come in with the barrels, so hopefully it's going to be a double water team, in which case Toxtricity should be okay in the end game here, but we're going to farm up 2 back-to-back Breaking Swipes. Breaking Swipe is going to be no shielded by the opponent, and I'm just going to blind throw the next Breaking Swipe, assuming it's going to be the Marowak coming back in, but they actually come in with Unnovan Stunfisk, and this game is looking to be over. Even if I land a Grass Knot at this point, this will not put them into range where I can farm them down with either of my Pokemon, since of course these Volt Switches, they're triple resisted. Toxtricity also going to hit full resisted Poison Jab damage. We swap there, expecting the opponent to try and snipe us with a Bone Club, but it doesn't really matter. They've got back-to-back charge moves, so a second Bone Club will be coming through, and it will easily be enough damage to take out the Heliolisk, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG stuff there into next battle. We see another Gastrodon in the lead. So again, we're going to play out this lead matchup here, but the opponent's actually going to swap into Toxapex, and this time we actually come in with our Heliolisk. And the reason being if I'm able to maintain alignment here, if I come out with a decent amount of energy, I might then just be able to fully one-shot the Gastrodon coming back in with a Grass Knot. So we go for Breaking Swipe, we actually grab a shield there. We don't debuff their attack, however, which is definitely not ideal for us, but we're going to go and fire off a second Breaking Swipe, and again, no debuff there, but we do grab that shield, which is honestly probably better for us, because now we can go and farm up to a Breaking Swipe and a Grass Knot here. Breaking Swipe, of course, from this range will finally be enough damage to get the KO there, and we've still got a Grass Knot loaded, so we throw straight away into Gastrodon, coming back in, getting the full-on one-shot. They come in with a Jump Bluff, and this is going to be game over. We've seen this already. We completely wall the energy here. They go for an Aerial Ace, doesn't do much damage. I'm going to overfarm. I don't want to throw a Wild Charge and have it not KO and then get taken out by a resistant charge move, so instead we wait for them to go for the Energy Ball, which still doesn't take us out there. We can now fire off the Wild Charge. Wild Charge gets the KO from that range, and I'm able to take that game. So GG Turbo there into the final battle of this video, once again leading into a Shadow Alolan Marowak. Again, gonna stay in here, realizing this time I'm actually not even gonna reach a Trailblaze since it is Shadow on Shadow. So instead, we swap into Heliolisk there. They're now gonna come in with a Serperior after grabbing a shield with the Bone Club. Honestly, it's not looking too good for us here, but we can throw on CMP, go for a Breaking Swipe. Again, we don't get the debuff there, but either way, I'm gonna no shield. Frenzy Plant will be getting the KO. We can now wait out Switch Slot, come in with our Toxtricity, and the opponent is actually just going to go straight for an Aerial Ace. I don't know why they did this. I think maybe they thought, oh, we're a Poison type, so we'll go for the Aerial Ace, but we are also Electric, so we resist both moves there. But of course, Aerial Ace is non-stab, does way less damage. We go for a Power Up Punch there. I realized if I threw a Power Up Punch, I'd put them into range where I could just Poison Jab, farm them down, but they come in with their final Pokemon, which is a Shadow Cradily, which honestly, now we're boosted. We're going to be grabbing shields left, right, and center. Both shields are down. We can now swap into our Shadow Cacturn, shield up the rock side coming through. We can then go for one Sucker Punch, fire off the Dynamic Punch there. Of course, this is going to hit for super effective damage. It easily gets the KO. One more Sucker Punch, takes out the Marowak, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.